It's Monday. It's May 16th. It's a brand new week, Jason, right here, Win Daily Sports, talking MLB DFS early lock show. As always, follow us at Win Daily Sports on all social formats and the website, windailysports.com. Tony, Jason, we're off the bat, man. We had a great weekend. We're looking at ahead. Monday's a unique day, but what's that top arm? Or are we going to go after the top dog for the A's?
Look, on DraftKings, Freddie Peralta is the ace of the slate at 10-5. But we got Coors Field and we got some expensive bats in some good spots that we're going to want to stack up. So I don't think Freddie Peralta is a must-have. There's some value guys all around, but if I am paying up, I'm not paying up for Gosselin or Michaelis. Look, they've been good. They've got, Gosselin has a good matchup in Arizona. Arizona is a team that we want to target with pitching. But I can't just pay 10-2 for Gonsolin, who's only going to go 4 or 5 innings maximum. He's reached 20 points. I'll take the pedigree, the K upside of Peralta, but I will have lineups fading this top end. It's expensive with Peralta and Gonsolin and Mikolas, and I'm not an Ian Anderson guy. So I'm probably fading this top end. And just like Jared did when he took down a big tournament on DraftKings on Sunday, he went with the value guys, and we got some value guys on this slate. But again, if you're going to pay up, I will resort to the K upside of Peralta. He still slings it, and Atlanta is not a team that I'm like completely petrified of. They haven't been hitting. They've been on and off. Acuna has been out of the lineup the past couple of days as well, so if he's not in there, that's one less bat you got to deal with on Monday. So Peralta is the ace, but I might be fading the entire top end here.
Entire top end. Now, it's funny because we talked about this before. Do you really want to pay that top dog? And you mentioned value. So let's get into these value plays because there's guys on this slate, guys like Severino and Syndergaard. And then I think you have a special value play you might want to mention. I think you're going to get a little Jigsaw crazy today on this stream, aren't you?
Listen, I've been getting crazy on Sirius on Saturday nights and Sunday nights with you this past weekend. I was on Hunter Green. I was on Tariq Skubal. I was on Quintana evenly, and they all paid off. A lot of guys in our Discord chat made a ton of money this weekend, so make sure you hop in that chat. Check out our projection miles, lineup optimizer. It all helps, and Vegas helps a lot as well. Look, this mid-range has Noah Syndergaard at 8,500. On Sunday, I said I liked the Angels to win this game. When the line opened up was minus 135. I still like the Angels on Monday to beat the Rangers. And Syndergaard has been good. He hasn't flashed that, that Met, 10K outing as of yet. But he got out there last start against Tampa Bay. He had 7. 2 starts prior to that, he had 6. This is a good matchup against Texas here. He pitched against Texas, on the 16th of April. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, only 4 Ks, but he got you 18.5 points. He got the win in that game. Look, I think the Angels win. I think Syndergaard is a nice landing spot at 8,500. And alongside him in that same price range, Severino, 8,800. Soft matchup against Baltimore. Severino hasn't been great. He really hasn't. His ERA is 4.08. His whip is 1.33. His pitch count has finally creeped up, 93, 97 in the last 2 starts. Look, he's pitched against Baltimore about 2 weeks ago, 6 innings, 5 Ks, let up 4 earned runs. If he didn't let up those 4 earned runs, he'd probably put up over 20 points there. So I think Severino and Syndergaard is a nice spot to land in. I don't mind fading the top arms. And Tony, you're right, man. Wade Miley. Wade Miley is 4,400 against a team that just got no hit and somehow still won a game in Pittsburgh. So, look, Miley only pitched 64 pitches last game. He got some ground balls, 10 of them, but he also walked 5 guys. Only lasted 3 innings against San Diego. Now, this is a different matchup. Hopefully, his pitch count creeps up to the 80, 90 range if he's pitching well. He did have some, years in the past where his Ks were there. I'm not expecting a heavy K game, but give me 10 points. Give me double digits out of Miley at 4,400, and you're good. If I don't need the bats, I'm not going to go to Miley. If I want some bats and I can't build around Severino and Syndergaard, which I have, going for 15 to 22 points, I will resort to Miley and then maybe pay out for Peralta in that lineup where I'm hoping Peralta goes for 25-30 and Miley gets me 10 to 12.
Think about that. For 14.9, you get Peralta and Miley, man. Can you imagine? I mean, that's again, that you never know. We're talking about value here. 4,400. We're not telling you go out and start Wade Miley everywhere, but if you want to get those bats in your lineup and you can get double digits for 4,400, you're living. Now, let's look on the other side. Who's the guy we're going to attack? We always talk about a gas can. You mentioned soft matchup, Severino has against Baltimore, but look on the other end. Who's a pitcher that we're going to attack?
One other guy I want to mention before we get to the gas can, I forgot about Kikuchi, man. Kikuchi is
Cutillo.
going against Seattle. He is a safer version of Wade Miley. He's 6,300. Not a tough matchup in Seattle, but Seattle can hit, man. And Seattle has been playing good baseball. They just beat up on my Mets on Sunday, and they're not striking out a ton. But Kikuchi, 6,300. He's coming off two great starts against the Yankees, where a lot of people lost money stacking up the Yankees against what they thought was a weak lefty. But he went out there, had 7 Ks in each of those games. He probably won't get 7 against, Seattle here. But Tone, there's also some revenge narrative. He used to be a Mariner. So I like what I see out of Kikuchi in the last couple of starts. 6,300, nice, safer landing spot than Wade Miley. I will have more Kikuchi than Miley. So give me some shares of that. Now, to your original question, gas can, it's going to be Senzatella. It's going to be San Fran, the team that we want to stack against. San Fran's a team that I also want to bet as well. San Fran and the Angels are going to be my 2 bets for Monday. But look, Senzatella struggled, man. This guy is giving up a bunch of runs. He's not lasting long, and he's pitching in Coors Field, and the over-under is already 11. So 4.88 ERA. His whip is close to 2. Last 2 starts has been a struggle. Guys letting up home runs. He's walking guys. He's not lasting more than 4 innings in most games, maybe 5 if he's lucky. And San Fran can mash, especially facing a right-hander. You got Crawford. You got Belt. You got their entire outfield of lefties that are going to go out there. Jock Peterson, Lamont and Wade, and they're too cheap too. So you don't need to pay the normal price tag for a team in Coors Field. So I really like the Giants as my favorite stack, and the gas can being Senzatella.
Now, do you have, because I like the Giants too, and we talked about this on Sirius, there's a lot of value for that stack, especially when you're talking about guys like Brandon Crawford who hit the ball all over. But how about a sneaky stack? Is there maybe that offensive team that nobody's really looking at that might not be high owned that could get you some points?
Look, if you fade Coors, tread lightly. I like San Fran more than the Colorado side, but I will have shares of both those offenses. Look, we saw Kansas City and Colorado have fireworks pretty much every night. Now we got the Cardinals who just lit up Carlos Rondon on Saturday night. Now they're going against Trevor Williams, who's kind of in a spot start here for McGill, who went down for the injury with the Mets. So I like the Cardinals as a nice little stack. And the Angels, man, Tony, you've been on to these guys all year long, and they've been hitting. They're expensive, but they've been hitting. They're going against John Gray, who's been struggling in Texas. So I like the Angels, and he just struggled against his team. So another team I like. And then a team that let me down on Sunday, could have won a bunch of money on Sunday if it wasn't for the Blue Jays. They got shut out, but they're going against Chris Flexen here. So I think the Blue Jays, if I'm going to go low own and get shares of a potent offense who hasn't been hitting as of late, it's the Blue Jays for me.
I like that because, again, the Blue Jays, the top dog we already know is Vlad, but there's a lot of really, really good bats. Now, what I will say about the St. Louis and Mets game, just be careful. There is a lot of rain coming on the East Coast tomorrow, some strong storms, so you just never know. I think between the 4 and 8 range, so just keep an eye. Could be one of those delay games or possibly postponed.
Don't say that, man.
I'm just telling you.
It's playoffs for softball for me on Monday night, man. I don't like when my games get rained out, man. So,
well, you might get delayed. You might get delayed.
No. They're weak, man. If you see they see a little weather, nobody wants to clean the fields. It's not City Field here. This is Long Island softball. So they call games like if there's a little puddle out there, nobody's cleaning the mud. It's staying. We don't get to play. And I look forward to playing. It's playoff softball. So let's hope not. But yeah, definitely check out our Discord chat. We're in there 24/7, 365, talking baseball, basketball. Shout out to the Mavs, who just laid a whipping to the Suns out in Phoenix, man. Love seeing that. So we're gonna have some interesting basketball in a couple of days with the Heat and the Celtics facing off, and then the Mavs and the Warriors facing off. We'll be definitely be laying some bets and playing some DFS. But Tone, you're all about these value plays, man. San Fran has some, St. Louis has some. Where are you looking for value on Monday night?
Well, it's funny. You mentioned the St. Louis Cardinals, and I know we just talked about the weather, so we keep an eye on that. But a guy who hasn't even began to hit yet, who really came on last year, is Dylan Carlson. Only batting 212, hasn't really had those great games, and his number just keeps dropping. You look at this guy, and he opened up the season. He was almost $4,000, and he's consistently 3,200, 3,300, 3,500. Now he's under 3,000, which is where I'm going to pounce. 2,900 for Dylan Carlson against Williams for the Mets. I think this is one of those tremendous value plays. And you mentioned San Francisco, and we're just going to stick to the roots. Why get away from it, right? We go to Coors Field route, and Lamont Wade, man, like he's only 3,400, and all he's been doing is hitting the ball. I preach positive point production. And the reason why I preach that is I want a guy who's not swinging for the fences every time at that low number is just going to get me some hits. And here's a guy who has 6 hits in 6 games. He's been over that 6-point threshold all of his last 5 games. Jason, he's only 3,400 playing in Coors Field. So I like Carlson and I like Wade. How about you? You have any value plays for everybody before we get out of here?
Yeah, look, San Fran, they're mispriced. So what I would say to do, they're going to be highly owned on Monday night, whether you're playing on DraftKings or FanDuel. I would build half of your lineups with them and half of your lineups fading them. They're going to be the most popular team. You're going to need some shares, and I like to play both sides here and kind of hedge. If they go off, you got some lineups with them. If they don't go off, they're going to be heavily owned, and you move ahead of the field by fading them. So it's either one or the other here. But look, San Fran is mispriced. You can get everybody you want in that lineup with big pitchers, top-end pitchers. Look, Peterson, Crawford, and Bell, they're at most 4,500. And then you got the outfield of Yaz, Wade, they're super cheap. And then if Luis Gonzalez starts again, he's 2,600. He's been hitting in the middle of that lineup, and he's hitting 339 right now in a small sample size. You get a 2,600 bat in Coors Field who's been hitting hot, and he's got the platoon matchup here too. It's a really good spot for them. Outside of that, you mentioned the Cardinals. I think Yepes they finally moved his price up to like 3,600, but he's been like 2,500 for like 3 weeks now, hitting number 4 for a really good lineup in the Cardinals. I think he's in a good spot. Toronto is still expensive, so it's not really value, but I think you get value out of Toronto with them being under-owned on a site like this. And I'll throw out one other team that we haven't spoke about yet. Start looking at the Red Sox. Odorizzi has been better as of late, but the Red Sox are starting to hit. Kike, Devers, Martinez, Bogarts, and even Story have been hitting. And Franchi Cordero, cheap on the backhand. Jackie Bradley, cheap on the back end. So if you need some value, Boston will be super low owned. And then the Angels, they're expensive, but you'll be able to find 1 or 2 bats in there that will be cheap as well, like a Velasquez or Rengifo. These guys are cheap. I do like that stack a bit. So that's another way to kind of, find some value in the slate. And we haven't spoke about the Dodgers either. They're going against Madison Bumgarner. Nobody's going to be really playing the Dodgers because a lot of people are going to be on Coors Field and the other teams that I mentioned. So the Dodgers are expensive. They're winning ball games. They're scoring runs. And they don't come cheap, but I think Monday's slate is going to be more about ownership than, finding value as much as we usually were looking for value. Here we're going to be fading some really popular spots in Coors Field.
Well, there you have it. You got to look at ownership. You got to look at value. You got to look at weather. And we give it all here at WinDailySports.com. Make sure you're following us at WinDailySports on all social formats. You're checking the website. There's articles every single day, whether it's NHL, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's golf, NBA, MLB, you name it. Jason mentioned earlier we had some guys taking some big time tickets this weekend. Prize Picks going off. Jared's doing a tremendous job as always. But from us, the Win Daily Sports family, as always, make sure you get your bets in, get your picks in. Everybody be profitable, and we'll catch you back here next time.